Hello and welcome to Hope for Dystonia. My name is Federico and you can call me Fede. I am the creator of Hope for Dystonia, which is now the single most comprehensive, transformative, and empowering dystonia program out there. If you yourself are on a recovery journey, I highly recommend that you check out the video that is linked in the description below. It is about the 8 steps of the Hope for Dystonia recovery roadmap. This is invaluable information that I wish somebody had shared with me when I was in the thick of it. This is the method that I developed to get my life back and that I have shared with clients for 5 years as of the filming of this video in 2024. So today's video is a bit different from my previous ones, and I am excited to share it with you. It is a bit different because it is humorous. So in this video, I tell you about 5 types of people that I have encountered in my work, and 5 types of struggles on the way to recovery. And I am sharing this so that you can see if you are experiencing some of these stumbling blocks, and so that you can know that these are just stumbling blocks, right? That you can get better, you can get past them, you can transform them into the ground of your fertile growth. And I have one more disclaimer here to share, which is that obviously we're talking here about health, but we are not talking about medicine. And so nothing in here is medical advice, and you should always make your medical decisions with your medical providers. So this being said, I think we are ready to dive into our video for today and to talk about the 5 people who struggle to get better, the 5 types that struggle, and the 1 type that consistently gets better. Okay, so the first type of person that struggles to get better is Superiorological Sally. Okay, forgive me for the funny name here. Superiorological Sally is all about salvation, right? That's what soteriological means. She is looking for people to save her. She is looking for the luminaries, the doctors, the experts, the specialists who are going to get all of it, who are going to do some magic to her and are going to just make it all better, are going to save her and deliver her from her suffering. And what Soteriological Sally doesn't realize is that she is the only person who can unlearn the dysfunctional patterns of dystonia. She is the only person who can learn new functional patterns. And so what Soteriological Sally needs to do is to step into her own power and begin to explore what is happening in her nervous system, what the patterns that she's engaged in are, and slowly begin a journey of learning new functional patterns. Okay, so that's our first type. Our second type is Nothing to See Nathan. Nothing to See Nathan has learned along the way that the best way to survive, to get through life, is to shove his feelings back where they came from. Okay, so he's learned that the best way to get through life is to power through and to just ignore what is happening within, because there's no point in dwelling on them. And so as a result, Nothing to See Nathan is oblivious to his inner landscape. He's not realizing that the dystonia is a way for his body to ask for his attention. And so what Nothing to See Nathan needs to do is to begin learning mindfulness and self-compassion so that he has the tools to work with what's happening within from a place of presence, of compassion, of greater regulation, and so that his suffering can become the fertile ground of his growth, as we were saying earlier. So it's all about learning to see what's within and grow from it. All right, that was our second type. Our third type of person that struggles to get better from dystonia is a close relative of Nothing to See Nathan, and that's TMJ Tom. TMJ Tom is obsessed with the temporomandibular joints. He is obsessed with reverse engineering the temporomandibular joints and finding the perfect position for his jaw relative to his cranium. TMJ Tom works with multiple dentists sometimes and has a collection of 3, 4, 5, 10 appliances that give all kinds of different support to his jaw, but none of them is perfect. And so TMJ Tom is obsessively looking for the perfect appliance, and he never quite gets there. And so he blames the dentist, and then he blames the material that the appliance is made of, and he blames all kinds of other things. And he is just off track, right? Because what TMJ Tom is not realizing is that the reason why he cannot register a position that supports his jaw and gives him peace and homeostasis is that he is in constant nervous system dysregulation. And as long as he is dysregulated in this way, as long as he is stuck in a pattern of fight or flight or whatever other kind of traumatic reactivity, he is not going to be able to register anything other than a position of clenching and traumatic spasming, right? And so what TMJ Tom needs to do is to take a break from the TMJ and begin working on regulating his nervous system and understanding the roots of this chronic dysregulation, and understanding that once he addresses the root causes of the dysregulation, the pain, the wounds, the trauma that we carry within, then he will be able to make sense of where his TMJ needs to end up and what a good occlusion would be for him. Okay, so that was TMJ Tom. And TMJ Tom 100% can get better, okay? Our next character today is Victim Vicki. Victim Vicki learned along the way at some point that the way to get attention and to get care is to be miserable. And she learned that if she is miserable and she is really suffering and she makes it really clear and she complains, and if she is in this position of victimhood and lack of power, then she gets what she needs in some way. And it's not her fault that this is how things were kind of programmed for her, right? This is how she learned to survive. But this too is a dysfunctional pattern. It's not something that is supportive for long-term healing. What Victim Vicki isn't realizing is that by perpetuating the narrative that she is a victim, that everything sucks, that nothing will ever get better, that all these things were done to her that caused her to be where she is, and so on, she is depriving herself of the power that she needs in order to create change in her own circumstances. And so she ends up sometimes being a soteriological Sally as well, right? So she ends up looking for saviors out there. What Victim Vicki is not realizing is that she does have power. And what she needs to do is to begin finding and stepping into her sense of agency, right? Her ability to create change in her own circumstances. And I know this is really tough sometimes, right? It's really tough when the circumstances are so difficult and it feels like we have no power at all, right? And I'm not minimizing the pain that can be there. What I am saying is that even in the most seemingly desperate situations, we can find little glimmers of something, right? We can find tiny little things in which we do have power. And excuse me, it takes some patience, and it takes some guidance, and it takes some support, but it can be done. And the negative loop of victimhood that victim Vicki is stuck in can transform into an upward spiral of empowerment and healing. If I find that I have power over something small and I see the positive impact of my actions, then I can find that I'm more motivated to take the next step, and then I have an even bigger impact, and so on and so forth. All right? So victim Vicki 2 can get better, no matter how challenging things seem to be. We can step out of this pattern, but it is important that we do, right? It is very hard to get better if our whole identity is built around the idea that we are victims, okay? All right, so that was our fourth character, victim Vicki. The fifth character that I'm going to talk about today is blind Bobby, or maybe we could call her Mechanical Mary. Whichever one speaks to you better. This is the type of character that takes one system, right, one set of exercises or what have you, and just blindly does whatever they are told, right? So blind Bobby and Mechanical Mary are neglecting to understand how whatever exercises and so on they are doing relate to their specific nervous system and their specific experience, okay? So if I am told to do a series of exercises for my neck, am I understanding how these exercises are supposed to help me? Do I understand which parts of me they're supposed to target? Do I understand which ones are my hypotonic pathways, the ones that are sleepy, and which ones are my hypertonic pathways? And if so, when I do my exercises, can I make sure that I engage my sleepy pathways in whatever movement I'm doing, and try to let go of the pathways that I overuse, right? So to give you an example, if I'm asked to turn my head left and right, can I understand, for example, that one side, one SCN, right, on one side is overworking, right? So let's say that I'm stuck over here, so this is overworking, and I'm having a hard time connecting to this, right? So can I understand that I need to engage this, I need to connect to this as I do these movements, right? I need to practice activating and engaging this specific muscle. So Mechanical Mary and blind Bobby are not able to make the exercises their own. They're not able to understand how exercises and frameworks apply to them. And so what they need to do is to become more embodied, right? And that's why the Hope for Dystonia program always starts with an exploration of our cranial nerves and an understanding of what we are overusing and what we are underusing, so that we can really target what is important for us and not just do things at random in ways that not only could not be helpful, they could also be harmful potentially, right? So if we know ourselves, we can prevent that from happening. We can prevent causing harm or doing things that are just ineffective. Because you know what? If we target exercises to what we actually need, then we can get better faster. And we have one life to live, so it would be nice to get better faster rather than more slowly, right? Okay, so as you have seen, these 5 types all struggle with different, sometimes related obstacles. And all of them can get past them, right? So these are just stumbling blocks, obstacles that are asking us to grow, right? And what do we grow into? Well, we grow into our sixth and final character, and that is Sovereign Sam. So Sovereign Sam understands that this is his body, this is his nervous system. These are his patterns of thinking, his patterns of moving, his patterns of embodiment, and he understands that he alone has the power to make things better, right? He understands that he is receiving these signals from his nervous system that are pointing him to the places within him that need care and attention. Okay, so he understands that whatever spasms he is stuck in, whatever patterns are happening in the psyche with anxiety, with depression, with whatever it is that is going on, these are just signals from the nervous system saying, hey, I'm hurting here, right? I need you to pay attention. I need you to bring your care and your love here. And little by little, Sovereign Sam begins to not only understand his patterns and not only bring care and love to them, he is able to incorporate the parts of himself in the psyche and in the body that he has shunned, right, and shut out. And he's able to incorporate those parts of himself into new functional patterns. And he's then able to practice these new functional patterns, and he's then able to engage adaptive neuroplasticity, his brain's ability to learn, and little by little, those new functional patterns become more and more the default. And he's able to do all of this because he is connected to his sense of sovereignty. Okay? All right, so I hope that this was helpful. I hope that it gives you hope, that it gives you a clear knowledge that wherever you may find yourself, no matter how bad things are, no matter what framework you are applying to your situation with dystonia, you can get better. You can alchemize. You can transform your obstacles and your patterns, and you can unlearn the patterns of dystonia and learn new functional ones. If you are on a healing journey of this kind, again, I highly recommend that you check out the video that is linked in the description below. It is the natural next step in your journey of healing and empowerment and sovereignty. So thank you for your attention. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. And I look forward to interacting with you soon here on hopefordystonia.com. And in the meantime, I send you much love.